And now, it's that time of the week once again. Welcome to the Departure Lounge podcast with your hosts, Tom Whittle and Steve Wooldridge. Your ticket to the home of aviation podcasts. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Departure Lounge podcast here on the Departure Lounge YouTube channel. Hope you're all well. We're going to have a wonderful evening this evening. It's going to be full of fun, full of laughter. It's going to be pretty good. My name is Tom Whittle. Thank you all for joining us, and let me introduce who we have with us tonight. So, joining me, as always, is, of course, Steve Wooldridge. Steve, very good evening to you. Belated birthday wishes and all that.
Well, thank you ever so much. Evening, everyone at home watching, and I hope you've all had a decent day, particularly Welsh Kev. I'm sure you're absolutely delighted right now, and yeah, pleasure to be here. How are you doing, Tom?
Yeah, very well. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Just making some last-minute adjustments here. So professional. Yeah, not too bad. Very busy over the last sort of week or so. But we're here for another show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. How has your weekend been, or more importantly, your Jubilee weekend, even though it's been your birthday?
Yeah, no, it was quite humbling. Everyone having street parties and flybys for my birthday. I do appreciate that. It's not called for, so I do appreciate it. And yeah, it was nice. My brother came down, which is always an absolute pleasure to see him, and just a bit of family time. I cooked a barbecue. Everyone woke up the next morning and they were healthy. So I would say that was job well done. So yeah, all in all, very good.
Good stuff. We'll bring you back shortly. Also joining us tonight, I won't read out what he's actually got in his name there, but it's actually Ian Hartley who's joining us as well this evening. Ian, good evening to you. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Not too bad.
Have you had your hair done?
No.
Oh, have you not? I've just transatlantic
Alison
were asking.
Top there.
Yeah, she was asking if you had your hair done.
It does need doing though, so I will get that done at some point. How's your Jubilee weekend been?
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, to put a downside on everything, we're still dealing with this massive pollution incident up in our local canal there, so that's not very, very good. But apart from that, I went to a street party yesterday, had a few beers and that, and all good. So yeah, I'm quite happy to celebrate Steve's birthday every year like that, to be quite honest.
Of course. Yeah. Who needs a Jubilee when you can celebrate Steve's birthday? It's all good.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Right, we'll bring you back shortly. There we go. Also joining us is one of the channel's moderators, and quite a regular on the show. There he is. It's Samuel Taylor Ackroyd. Sam, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us this evening. How are you?
Hello, Tom. Good evening to you as well. I'm very well, thank you, and thrilled to be back on the world's best podcast, in my opinion, and I hope you're doing well.
Thank you. Too kind, honestly. But no, yeah, thank you for joining us. Are you looking forward to this evening?
Absolutely, yeah.
Excellent, fantastic. Right, let's get everybody back. Everyone can say hello to each other.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Sam. You're both all right?
How are you doing, Sam? You good, mate?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. How are you all doing?
Yeah, decent. Really all good, thanks. Yeah, nice.
Good stuff. So, before we jump into tonight's little show, we'll go into a little bit of housekeeping before we do. So, we're on social medias. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to keep up to date with everything to do with the show, well worth doing because of some exciting news that we've had, which we're not going to share with you because we're going to be cool like that. But some exciting stuff that Ian and Steve both know that I showed them this morning, and we'll mention that maybe in a couple of weeks' time. But if you want to keep up to date with everything, do follow us on social medias in the chat description below. Rather, we do have a shop as well, so you can buy the merch. You can buy, if you want to support Steve's birthday, you can buy his limited edition T-shirt, which none of us are rocking tonight. Just, and also
they're back on sale, Tom.
Also, because of Pride Month, we've also released a lot of Pride merch. I should have worn mine today, but it's in the wash. But if you want to support a very noble cause, do jump onto the site. There are some merch up there that you can buy. And if you wish to be a guest on the show, just like Sam, do consider sending us a message and letting us know when you would like to come and join us. And then we'll get you on as soon as we can. And we also have a Facebook group as well. If you want to join that, that should be in the description below itself as well. So, Ian, a couple of people saying hello. Let's deal with the hellos that have come through.
Righty-o then. So we've got Transatlantic Allison who's in the house. She's saying hello. Welsh Kev. Good evening to you, Welsh Kev. Let's have a quick blur through here. Yep, Jack Rolls is in the house there. So good evening, Jack, and Jim Gemmell as well. And of course, Rob Brown's knocking about somewhere. So good evening, troops. Best birthday wishes to you, Stephen. Happy cake eating day.
Many thanks, Rob. Days. And I'm still eating cake as we speak because it was quite
good lad. There you go.
Yeah,
magnificent.
The British Airways Airbus A350 from Los Angeles is in the house saying, "Hey y'all!" I'm sure it was something different last week, weren't it? Was
I'm pretty sure it was the A380 from Frankfurt.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Ryan Bonner as well. He's in the house as well. So good evening to you, Ryan, or good afternoon. I think it'll be, won't it, for Ryan. Good evening to, let me just read that one. Samuel Bahandari. I think that's how you pronounce it. So, yeah, good evening to you. And Lynn Keeble as well. I don't think I've missed anybody out on there. Oh, yeah, there's Martin as well. So good evening to you as well, Martin Waldridge. Yeah, Top Barbecue is saying.
Good stuff.
Right, easily pleased.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he can put the truth on this chat, can't he?
Yeah, yeah. He was quick to scuttle off home the day after mine.
Yeah, we've got my Tian's in the house as well. So good evening to you, Tian. With is that a picture of a prawn next to you? Yeah, it's a picture of a prawn. Yeah,
there you go.
Curtain watch. There you go. Curtain watch for
curtain watch. Yeah, picture
Tian,
of
there you go.
Curtains, Tian.
Lovely stuff.
Oh, no. Yeah, Visions International is here as well. So happy days. So everyone's here.
Wicked. Right, tonight we are hosting our wonderfully popular show of rating the liveries, and we've gone with a little bit of a special twist tonight where we are rating the special liveries that I found. There's quite a few, but we'll see how many we can get through. And we'll basically, if for anybody that's watching for the first time, we go through some liveries and we have a good chat about it and have a good little laugh and rate them depending on whether you like them or not, and then we give them an average rating afterwards. So without further ado, are we ready?
Ready when you are.
Wonderful. So let's start.
I'm ready. However, bit of a problem. I think on the live stream I appear to be lagging a bit for me, even though I don't seem to be freezing on the actual software we're using. So I guess
put your thumb up, Sam.
It's not on the software, but it's lagging on the stream for some reason. I think this happened. What was it? 2-3 podcasts ago with the guests of the last time we did this.
That's right. I mean, as long as we can hear you, that's kind of the main thing.
Just very quickly, Tom, a special hello to Samuel, is it? Sorry, it's first-time viewer. So just thank you ever so much for joining us here, and I hope you find us sort of welcoming and entertaining tonight.
Absolutely. And of course, if you are new around here and you're not subbed to the channel, do consider giving us a subscribing. Press the subscribe button rather, and hopefully, but we'll keep you here for the meantime. So let's get into the first of them as I bring it up onto the screen. It is, of course, China Eastern, the livery which adorned an A340-600. Better city, better life. I think it's for an expo. And yeah, I quite like this one. It's very colourful. It certainly beats what they've got nowadays. But yeah, I quite like this one. We're going to go for... Actually, let me get rid of that logo in the top because I always get covered. There we go. Let's go for Ian first with your opinion on this one.
I like it. It's nice and bright. It's colourful. It's a nice thing, isn't it? I think the colours are... I mean, I'm never a massive fan of green and reds together on aircraft or anything like that, but I think with the orange breaking up and the actual nice soft curves they've got in it and things like that, I think it really suits it, and I really like it. Yeah, I think
it's going to be an interesting one. I think. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one tonight because there's going to be a lot of colours, which might not sort of work in some respect, but it's about what it represents as well, and that's why we throw a curveball in there. But yeah, I quite like it. I enjoy it. I don't think I saw it because I don't think China Eastern operated at that time into like Heathrow and things like that. But seeing pictures and stuff, obviously the colours are quite vibrant. Steve, what about you while you're shoving your face full of cake?
I think the original livery on the Eastern is actually a little bit plain, a little bit boring. So the fact that there's a little bit of vibrancy to this is actually better than their usual colour scheme. Is it maybe ever so slightly busy at the front end? Possibly, like the red and the blue might make it a little bit too busy front end. But they've obviously done it to keep in with their colour scheme. But yeah, it's one of those ones that if it was coming into Heathrow or whatever, I'd be quite excited to see it. It's not terrible. It's nice and vibrant, and it's better than their standard livery.
Interesting. Sam, what about you? What's your thoughts?
First impressions, I do like it, even though it's got a lot of colours on it, so it's not exactly that modern, but it's still nice. It's an expo livery, then I think that makes a pretty good expo livery. And how do I say this? It's a bit of a change, and as long as it's not on too many aircraft, then I think it would be nice to see. Although I wouldn't want to see it too often because it's I don't know how to say this, but I do like the colours and the order of the colours, and I do think that China Eastern have done a good job at thinking that the green definitely does go well being next to the red, because if it was, I probably wouldn't like it. So I think the order of the colours, blue, red, orange, and green, goes well, and with and how they've still got the standard livery on the tail section. So I like this livery. I'd rate it. Wait, we're going to ratings yet?
We'll hang fire with the ratings as we'll go through what people have said first. A lot of people are liking this, although Jim Gemmell, I think, would comment of the night already, saying that the front end has stagecoach vibes with the blue, red, and orange.
Well done, Jim. That's just ruined it for me. All I can see now is a coach.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, that's the first thing I looked at when he said that. I was like, yeah, now all I can see is a bloody bus. But Welsh.
Well, I mean, it is an Airbus, so makes sense.
True. It's still a bus. Yeah, very good. Welsh Kev is saying it's too many different colours for his liking. Hide your APUs. Jack Rolls is here. He says, "Oh my days, that aircraft looks smashing."
Well, there you go. Can't be argued.
No. Lynn Keeble says, a bit odd, but nice and bright. Visions saying, someone found some spare paint. Dreadful. So there's a lot of sort of mixing and toing and throwing. But yeah, it's pretty good. What we'll get to do, we're going to do our ratings, and everybody in the chat, if you bring your ratings for what you'd give it out of 10, and then we'll show them after we do ours. So let's start with let's go from bottom to top this time for the ratings. Sam, out of 10, what do you think?
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Was that a 10?
7.
No, 7
Sorry.
out of 10.
Yeah, that's my bad. Right, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Good start. Steve.
We've not known what else is coming up later on. I will give it a 6 to begin with.
A 6. Nice, comfortable 6. Ian?
Yeah, I'm with Steve on that one. As it's the first one of the night, you need a baseline. So I'm going to give it a... No, I'm actually going to give it a 7 because I do like it, to be quite honest. Yeah.
Cool. I'm probably going to go baseline 6 as well.
Yeah.
I think. Because I know what's coming, but you guys don't, which I think is quite cool. So you have no idea of the liveries that I've picked. So to start off with, we've given it a 6.5 out of 10, which I think is about right.
Sounds reasonable enough.
Can't go wrong with that. Let's have a look and see what other people have put. Let's go. Rob Brown going with a 6 out of 10. Dennis McNaughton going for a 5 out of 10. Martin Waldridge, 5 out of 10. And then we have Welshie Kev, 4 out of 10. Jim Gamble giving it a 5. Jack Rolls giving it an 8. Ryan Bomar, 7.7. I've just seen it. And Transatlantic Allison's score as well, which is, I'll tell you what, we'll bring it up anyway. That's her score. Well done. Very good. Let's have a look here as well. Somil Bandari giving it a 9 out of 10.
There you go.
Not a big fan of that. Liam Grant is here. 4 out of 10, not very exciting. So it does, you either like it or you hate it. Very much like Marmite.
Seems to be that way, doesn't it?
Very much like Marmite. But yes, so good job.
I don't know. I'd say it's a love-hate thing. I'd disagree. I'd say it's somewhere in the middle. Because there's a few reasons why I'd like it and a few reasons why it's not the best.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at. Apparently, it wasn't Alison's score is different. I'm trying to think where that is. Is there something? If not, she'll put it back in the chat and we'll go back on there. But let's move on to the next one, which is. Here we go. Another one of the Chinese carriers, and this time it is Sichuan Airlines, which is painted on an A350-900. First and foremost, I think it's absolutely stunning and really, really nice. Obviously, pandas and all sorts, giving off the Asian vibe. We'll go top to bottom this time. Ian, your thoughts on the Sichuan Airlines A350?
I don't like it. I don't. The colours are absolutely fine. Take away the pandas, and then I haven't got a problem with it. I've got no beef with pandas or anything like that. I've nothing against them. I just don't get on well with cartoon characters on airplanes. You put that in front of me, put the Smurfs one in front of me, or anything like that, and I'm just going to turn them away. I'm just not a fan of them at all. All that Pikachu rubbish and all that for me, it's just not my cup of tea at all, I'm afraid.
Wow.
So that's my opinion. I do like the red, which merges, into the white, I suppose, and the fact that it's on a 350, and I like all the flower petals and things like that. It's just the panda vibe it's got. It doesn't do anything for me at all, I'm afraid.
So, Ian, you hate pandas, is that right?
No, I've nothing against pandas. I've just got, I just don't like cartoony characters on aeroplanes.
Fair.
Don't
Fair
matter
enough.
who they are. Yeah, I'll say
Fair
it
enough.
for anyone you put up.
Before we move on, I will just say that Alison actually put 10 out of 10 for the fact that it was on A340-600 and not so much for the paint job. So it wasn't a middle finger as we thought or anything else like that.
All right, she was actually pointing up then.
Pointing up, yeah.
No, fair enough.
So fair enough.
I thought it was a middle
We'll
finger.
swiftly move on. Steve.
Well, first of all, anyone in the chat who identifies as a panda, Ian's views does not reflect the show's views. We're open to all here. We had a similar aircraft in another show, and I think for a young family, young children who are a little bit skeptical of flying, a little bit nervous of it all, like seeing a panda and that on the aircraft might just settle them ever so slightly and give it a kind of a kind of gentle, fun vibe to them, rather than like this scary white airplane that they don't know much about. But yeah, I like the way it blends into the red at the back of the tail. The Pandas isn't doing much, but like you say, it epitomises the region brilliantly. So on that basis, it's unmistakably Asian. But I think Alison said herself, it's sort of wrecked a very beautiful A350 in my opinion as well.
Awesome. A lot of people laughing at what you said then about the identifying about pandas. A lot of people questioning what pandas did to you, Ian, but we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah,
I've been traumatized, Tom.
Probably.
Sam, over to you.
Oh, yeah. I'm a mixture. I mean, I agree with Ian about how I'm not a big fan of cartoon characters or anything like that on aircraft, especially if we're talking about Brussels Smurfs livery. But this livery, especially on the A350, I do actually kind of like it. I mean, like I said already, I'm not a big fan of cartoon characters on it. This actually does look pretty nice.
It's as Michael Painter put, it's a fun livery. It's a nice little one to kind of have in your photography collection. Ian, would you take a picture of this? Or would you change your batteries?
Absolutely, Tom. Yeah, like I say, it's just take the pandas away. I mean, leave the pandas there. It's a lovely, vibrant plane, and it's on a 350 as well, which also helps, doesn't it? Because it's a cracking looking plane. But it's a lovely, vibrant plane. It's the colours are really bright and really vibrant. And I agree with what Steve was saying before about it being, if your young kids are a bit like, don't really want to fly and they see a plane like that, they're going to think, it's not as bad as that. But I'm still with Sam saying that cartoon characters don't really belong on sides of aircraft.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, you guys have got 30 seconds to think of your rating for this one as I go through what people have said in the chat. Martin Waldridge saying, like it flew through a play school art class. Pretty decent. Tian saying she thinks it's cute, in her opinion.
Yeah, she would do. She's bound to disagree with me.
Transatlantic Allison saying, way to wreck the 350 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big fan of that one. Mm-hmm. We'll go on to Ryan Beaumart's questions of what did pandas do to you shortly. Jack Rolls says, it's a quirky livery, but I think if you was a teenager, you would call a virgin bride on the beach. But I like it a lot. Lay off the drink.
Yeah. Jack as well.
Yeah. Lay off the drink.
I think he needs to moderate himself, doesn't he?
Moderate himself, let alone the chat.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take him on a timeout.
No, don't put him on a timeout.
Yeah, I can't. Apparently, I can only select go to his channel, report, and block because he's a fellow. Damn it.
That's
Thanks for trying.
I'll do it. It'll be all right. The fact he actually tried was quite funny.
You're welcome.
Liam Grant says Hainan did it better with a Kung Fu Panda, to be honest. Might be one that may pop up later. You don't know. And then lots of people giving off their ratings. So get your ratings in as we do ours. We'll go top to bottom this time. Ian.
Well, it's a lovely livery, and I do like the vibrant colours on it and things like that. But as I can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pandas on the side. And I'll knock a point off as well because I don't really like pandas on the side of planes. So I'll give it a 4.
4. 4 out of 10. Steve.
Yeah, whilst I'm not quite as anti-panda as Ian, I think the back end of it's just a little bit too busy, so I'm going to award it a 5.
5. Sam.
Steve, I'm going to give it a 5. Ian, bit of a correction. There is 8 pandas.
Oh, proved wrong.
Oh, I can see. Yeah. That's a shocking picture of 3 pandas sat against us. The 3 at the back, next to the banana.
Yeah. Number 3 there.
Right. Well,
I'll
for
give
Sam's cheek, I'll knock another point off.
No, you can't change it. I'll give it probably.
Ooh.
I want to go 6.5. I think I like it, but I kind of want to boost the score up a little bit because I think it's quite. You guys have given it quite a low score, but eventually what it leads to is that overall we've given it a 5.5 out of 10, which I think is ridiculously low. But that's me. Let's have a look and see what other people have put here. So Jim Gemmell's put 5, Ryan Beaumart's put 3.8, Jack Rolls has put 7, Michael Painter has put 7.5 out of 10. Mohammed Haider says 16 pandas because there's 2 sides of the plane.
That's a good shout. That's just knocked it down to 3 off me.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a lot of Vision International 5 out of 10, Rob Brown Plane Spotting 3 out of 10, Transatlantic Allison 4 out of 10. So it actually gets quite a low score from a lot of people as well. Interesting stuff. It's why we do this, because we like to have the opinions of people. Right, let's go on to the next one. Did somebody say animated characters? It's Pokemon time. You asked for it and you've got it. So, no need to really describe this one. But All Nippon Airways, of course, massive association to Pokemon. Have painted loads of planes in the past with Pokemon decals, including this very vibrant yellow one, which I think is supposed to obviously represent the likes of Pikachu and the electric family of Pokemon. Of course, adorned on the very rare 747-400D, which is domestic. It's got colour, right? So it's quite funky for kids, especially sort of in Japan and that are mad about Pokemon and things like that. So it's quite fun. It's a bit like Brussels with the Smurfs. I suppose it just makes, like we were saying the other week, that it makes like children, if they're nervous about flying, going, "Oh, I flew on the Pokemon plane," etc., and things like that. So I think it's quite a fun little livery. I'm going to be super interested to know what you guys think. Sam, we'll go with you first.
Believe it or not, I'm actually going to give this a 10 out of 10.
Give over.
The reason being is because shut up. But anyway, like I was saying, I mean, as it's a 747, of course, I'm going to like it. Even though I said I'm not a big fan of cartoon characters on aircraft. If anything, I think this Pokemon one with Pikachu's actually changed my mind. And even though I said I don't like how there's too many colors on certain liveries, this one I think changed my mind for this livery. And yeah, I like this livery.
Excellent. Martin Waldridge, I think, has now taken the crown for comment of the night. How did you get the passengers on board your Pokemon? Ooh, very good. Comment of the night so far. Well done, you.
You say P-Cab.
That's good. It's a pinned message. Pin that to the top. That's comment of the night. Right, Steve, over to you.
Yeah, here's a fun story. I once went out and had a curry and far too much to drink. And when I got home, roughly speaking, that's what came back up. So, yeah, absolutely minging. I don't like it in the slightest. It looks dreadful in my opinion.
Oh my goodness!
I disagree.
Well, okay. Well, I suppose if that's how we're going to do it. Speechless, I think, is the best way to put that. Well, and we'll leave it at that as well. Ian, over to you.
Yeah, well, obviously I don't like it. I'll tell you what they could have done for me. It's just left the entire plane yellow, left the Pokemon on the tail, and that would have been enough.
Yeah.
But so I understand why they filled it up. I understand that it's in Japan and Pokemon's a massive thing in Japan. I've never been a fan of Pokemon. I've never got it. I don't understand it. So for me, I'm with Rob Brown, and I'll give it a 1 out of 10 just because it's on a 747, and that's the only reason.
Well, you can hang fire on the ratings for now.
What, you don't like it because it's on a 747?
No, I don't like it. No, well, I don't like it, but because it's on a 747, it gets half a thumb up.
Half a thumb up. Oh, my goodness.
Your response gets no thumbs up.
Interesting. All right. So you guys have 30 seconds to think about what you would give it. I mean, you probably don't need 30 seconds, but we'll go for it anyway as we go through what some of the people have said here. Apart from, obviously, like I said, the comment of the night from Martin Waldridge. Michael Painter says that the yellow gets right in your face. Visions saying, what a way to ruin a 747. Ryan Bomar saying, if you peed or puked on this plane, nobody could see it.
Exactly.
May as well chuck that in there. Jack Rolls says, any Pokemon fan would absolutely love this livery. I gotta give it, it's nice. What you do in your spare time is entirely up to you. Let's have a look here. Who else have we got? Anthony Long says, crikey, how much would that cost? Liam Grant says, A&A enjoy the cartoons. They have 787, 777s of Star Wars, 380 with Turtles, and 747 with Pokemon. They do like a special livery, I must admit. And I think Jack Rolls is suddenly not quite comment of the night, but it's good enough. So sorry, Ken. If Manchester United ever made a plane, it would be this. I know Ken's a Man United fan. He might enjoy that one. Maybe. Tian Hartley's a big fan as well. So we're going to do the ratings. Everyone get theirs in. And we'll get those read out at the end. So let's go with Steve first.
If there was ever a reason for the 747s to be scrapped, this is clear indication of why. It's barely a 2 because the tail isn't that bad.
Some harsh scores this evening already. All right, so you've gone for a 2. Sam?
I'm going to give it a 10, and I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for that.
Nothing wrong with giving it a 10. Just means that the score's going to be a lot higher. Ian?
Well, I'm not going to follow ex-moderator Sam.
Ex-moderator.
No, I'll give it.
Wow.
I'll give it a strong 1 just because it's on the 747. It's vile. It really is.
A what? A strong 1?
Yeah, very strong 1. That.
How
1.1.
Yeah. So how
does that make us contradictory?
Yeah, no, it is.
A strong 1.
I'll
give
take
it
the heat off you, Sam, with your 10.
I'll give it a strong sort of 5. I think a strong 5 because it, compared to what we get nowadays, like the old Euro white liveries and stuff. Like,
now the word strong is the word of the night.
So the colour for me would do it, and it's on a 747. I quite like it. It's quirky, so I'm a big fan of quirkiness. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10, which means out of everything, roughly about 5 out of 10. So literally smack bang in the middle.
Yeah.
Let's have a look and see what we've got here. So Jack Roll's giving it a 5 out of 10. Liam Grant giving it a 9 out of 10 for the effort. Vision's giving it a 1. Sarah Pass giving it a 2. Let's have a look here. Michael Painter 5 out of 10. Jim Gemmell 2 out of 10. And Welsh Kev with 2 out of 10 by the looks of it.
What about Alison? What did she give it?
Alison gave it a
don't
a dash 400 out of 10.
No.
Yeah, spot on.
Well, that's not the average down.
Very good.
No, I was
very good.
hoping you wouldn't read that out.
Very, very good. Very good indeed. Right, okay, let's go
not
on
very
to
good
the
indeed.
next one. Let me just remind myself what it is. Okay, we're staying in Asia with this one from China United Airlines on a 737-800. Don't ask me what it represents. I have no idea. What do we think of this one? I quite like the fact that it's dark. I can't think what it's... I'm looking at it. Can't think what it represents. Somebody will probably say something, but quite like it. It's the first thing I thought of was the Smurfs livery as soon as I saw it, but yeah, I quite like it. It's like a very midnight blue color as well, which is also one of my faves. Ian, what do you think?
I'm still trying to weigh it up, to be quite honest. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, to be quite honest. I don't know whether I like it or whether I don't like it. It's like a mural. It's like something you'd see on a wall, and that's it. It's obviously got some kind of reason for how it is, but I think you'd need to know what that reason was to understand what it's about. But for me, it's just a mural on a wall, and that deer at the front. Unfortunately, I can only see a whale at its back end, looking towards the back.
Mm.
The deer at the front, it's back of its back, and I don't know whether that's his back leg, but it just looks like a whale looking towards back at plane. No.
Okay.
The blue and the black, and it's fine.
All right. Steve.
Yeah, I don't really understand what we're trying to achieve with it. It's like we've sort of started painting it blue, got a bit bored, missed a bit, run out of ink, got a different colour out, and was just a mash of everything going on with not a lot of purpose with it. In my sort of opinion of it, I don't understand what it's meant to be doing, really.
Interesting. I'll see if I can find some info on it actually.
Yeah, I'm Googling it up now, Tom.
Oh, Ian, Statman over there is about to do it. Sam, over to you. What do you make?
I'm going to rate it 2 out of 10. I like it, but I'm going to give it an extra point just because I feel bad for leaving too much hate and because of effort.
I like it.
So I'll stick with
2 out of 10. All right, so no need to ask for your rating when we get to that. Right, you guys have 30 seconds. Ian, you can jump in when you found out what it means.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of something here in front of me, and it just says China United Airlines (CUA) have applied a special livery to one of its aircraft. It features Chinese screen paintings, a traditional form of art originating from the Tang Dynasty. Designed by Nadun Lab, the aircraft has been painted with patterns that incorporate inner Mongolian elements. A white deer has been positioned on the nose of the jet as Bayatao. CUA's hub in Inner Mongolia is known as the City of the White Deers. So Mongolian, Orvu, which is a sacred pile of stones. I don't know what I'm sure it's got something to do with it. And flags are seen on the outboard wing. The aircraft represents a picture of serene Mongolian grassland views. The airline is a wholly owned subsidiary of China Eastern. That's about it, really. So it's representing Mongolian culture, really. So unless you appreciated Mongolian culture and like the City of the White Deers and the piles of stones, and you can actually see on the wingtips the little flags and things like that. It makes a lot of sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Good one, Statman. So let's have a look. 30 seconds for you guys to have a look or have a think about the rating. Transatlantic Alison says, "Oh for God's sake, my eyes." Another one that I don't think is is going to go down well with her. Ken asking, "Is this a selection of the worst liveries ever?" I'm trying for it not to be, but it seems to be going down that way. Ryan Bomar saying that it represents an LSD trip. Visions asks that it's got some Pepsi vibes.
Yeah.
No, it really doesn't.
Nope. There you go. Nope. Put in your place. Welshie Kev asks, who actually ticks the box to say yes to these liveries?
Some idiot, that's who.
Visions saying a Banksy after a heavy session. So there's some creative comments about this. Creative comments coming in about the deliveries tonight. Right, so get your ratings into the chat as we go through ours. I'll start this off. I'll give it probably a 5, I think, again. Probably a solid 5 on that one. Let's go with Sam. Obviously, you've done 2 out of 10. You sticking with 2 out of
10? Yes, I'm sticking with 2 out of 10.
All right, 2 out of 10. Steve?
Yep, even with Ian's explanation, it's the kind of thing you'd see in the tape modern with people sitting there going, like that. But in reality, we haven't got a clue what's going on with it, so it's a free.
So, how much did you give it? Sorry,
A free.
a 3. All right, some low scores coming in. Ian,
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5. It would have been lower, except for the fact now I know what it is, and it makes it more. You can make more sense of it, can't you? And if you understand what it's about, and then I think you can give it a higher rating. That tail is bizarre. I have no idea what that's meant to represent. Is that China United's colours? Because it's certainly not the Chinese flag with the Mongolian colours. So,
Oh dear.
all right.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So that means we give it a very low 3.5 out of 10, which is quite interesting. Let's have a look and see what people have put here. Sarah Pass putting a 1 out of 10. Rob Brown putting 5 out of 10. Mohammed Haider giving it 3 out of 10. Ryan Bomar with a 0.737 out of 10.
Oh.
It's all coming out. Honestly, it's wonderful. Tian Hartley, you want to have a word, Ian? 9 out of 10.
Really?
Oh, what beats the next year?
Jim Gemmell giving it 3 out of 10. Jack Rolls giving it a 4. Fused Plane Man giving it a.
Oh no, no. I was hoping you weren't going to read that out. No.
Yeah.
I'm removing that as I'm the moderator.
It's good. It's all fun.
Just
Max Jet TV Live giving it a 4 out of 10. Michael Painter giving it a 5 out of 10. And Rob Brown playing spotting with the comment of harsh crowd tonight. It is a harsh crowd.
It's very harsh crowd tonight.
Very harsh crowd.
We're a bunch of PR, Rob.
Yeah. Hard to please, honestly.
I mean, on the airline, obviously there's part of China Eastern, but is that subsidiary still trading?
Still going, yeah.
Oh, I thought the tickets were too dear.
Right, let's move on. All right, something a bit more lively. It is, of course, South African Airways with, I believe, I want to say this is their Olympic livery from a good few years ago, adorning an A340-300. I want to say 2012 Olympics. This was painted for. I'm possibly. It's to do with the. I'm sure it's to do with the Olympics anyway. But Statman will probably find out, so we'll let him do that, and we'll go with Steve first. Steve, what do you think of this one?
Yep, I like the fact they've kept to their country's colours on the stretching out along the fuselage. That's a decent touch. If it was like celebrating their Olympic sort of achievements or delivering the athletes or whatever, it's quite a nice special livery to sort of incorporate that. So all in all, it's not terrible, certainly compared to what we've seen recently, that's for sure.
Positivity at last. Sam, over to you.
Hey, I give it a bit of positivity with the Pikachu livery. I'm the only one that gave it a 6.
Are you going to continue the positive vibes with this one?
I think I might actually do, yeah. I'm not just saying that. We'll get to that in a bit because it's not my turn.
No, it is your turn.
Wow. Me and my brain today. But, yeah, I like it. And I like how they've kept the South African Airways tail. And as it's for Olympics, of course, the Olympics logo, it's called, how it's got a lot of colours in it. So a lot of colour actually goes well with the Olympics livery. So I like this livery, despite it being which I do not like. I like this livery. More backlash is coming my way, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today's the end of my YouTube time, no doubt.
Oh dear.
People hate me.
Right, Statman, have you found any info on it?
Yeah, no, it's just you were right all along, Tom. It's a 2012 South African Olympic livery. You got different sports represented outside there, haven't you? But I really like it. I think it's really, really nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the fact that it's on a 340 makes it even better, Sam.
Shut up.
No, I really like it. I think it's a lovely looking plane. I think the curves on the colours down the side, I don't know. It's sort of, I don't know, is it Olympic flame sort of type vibes? I'm not sure, but obviously it's representing the South African colours, the sports, what they do represent, and it's not too much. I think it's just about right. It's nice that, yeah.
Awesome. I quite like it. So I'm a big fan of this one. I think I've seen it a couple times actually as well. But it is, it's a really nice, really nice livery actually. Really nice. I do quite like it. So 30 seconds for you guys to have a think about what rating you'll give it. I've got a feeling this would be probably the highest one so far. But let's go through it. So Jack Rolls saying that is incredible. I would easily, if this came into Heathrow, see this because it's a stunner. Well done, South African Airlines. Seriously, lay off the drink. Liam Grant says really nice. So yeah, all good for that one. Let's have a look here. Who else do we have as well? Transatlantic Allison with the 300. The aircraft that proves ground effect can be the only reason some aircraft get you airborne. Very slow climber, of course. Very underpowered. But she also likes the paint job, which is pretty good. Statman will know. Rob Brown says, assume the colours match the colours of the Olympic ring.
Good shout. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Also, they're the
Well,
5 colours of the Olympic rings, aren't they? Yeah.
Good job. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Right. So, let's do some ratings. Sam, you first.
I give it an 8 out of 10. I like the livery, and if it weren't for the fact that this was an A340, I would have given it a 10 out of 10.
More controversial stuff.
What have you got against 340, Sam?
Oh, that's a very good question, Ian, and I will tell you right now. It is because it's basically just an A330 with double the amount of engines, and 4 engines just does not look good. Yeah, I just do. Yeah, it's basically an imposter of the A330.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, everyone's got an opinion, haven't they?
Yeah. Goodbye,
I mean,
everybody.
it's an Airbus, so I'm not going to leave it too much hate, but I don't like it that much.
That's fair
Although
enough.
I think it's better than a DCA.
Everyone's got an opinion. Yeah. It's a good. Ryan Bomar. Sam, it's a pleasure.
No. People do not die.
Yeah. It's a tough crowd, and you're feeding them easy stuff. Right. So, what was your rating for this one, Sam?
It was 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Good score. I will go for a solid 8 out of 10 as well. I do like this one by far, probably the best one of the evening so far. Steve.
Yeah, well, let me just pick my jaw up off the floor quickly, as there's currently 7 340s parked at Bournemouth, looking absolutely beautiful. It is, just to upset Sam, it was going to be an 8, but it's going to be a 9 just for his A340 comment.
9 out of 10. Ian.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 as well, because I think it's a proper good-looking aircraft. Yeah.
Okay, so that to me would be a solid. No, that's not that one. A solid 8 out of 10. I think is probably the best.
Yeah, it's near enough.
Best option for that one.
Good enough for me because that is my rating.
8 out of 10. Right, let's have a look and see what people have put. Liam Grant has put 10 out of 10. Welshie Kev, 7 out of 10. Sarah Parr, 6 out of 10. Darren Smith, 7 out of 10. Michael Painter, 8. Jim Gemmell, 8. Jack Rolls being awkward, 9 3/4 out of 10. Rob Brown playing spotting, 7.5. Visions giving it 6. So quite high, I would say, for this one. So very good indeed. All right, so we're sticking for South African with this one. We have shown this on the show before, but we're going to go for this one again because it is, of course, a special livery. I believe it's something called Dizani. I think it is Dizani. I believe it's called adorning a 747-300 picture taken from Heathrow Airport. Quite a regular visitor in this country when it was around. Ian, we have shown this one before. I think I can't remember how far back we've shown it, but I loved this livery because it was a lot of fun, very colourful, very sort of like I'm trying to think of the word like a nod to their like heritage, a heritage type thing for South Africa, sort of adorning the shape of the flag and different colours.
Yeah.
What did you think of this one?
I think it's too busy, to be quite honest with you.
Blimey heck.
Yeah, it's. I understand what you're saying, and it's a nod to the flag and to the heritage and all the rest of it. But I mean, we don't appreciate looking at a picture of it that it's on like a 747. If you were stood in front of that thing now and just looking down it'd. I mean, you can see it all with your eyes on this picture. When you're looking at it, when you're closer up to it and you're looking at the actual aircraft, I don't think you get the same perspective on it. But I think as we're looking at it now, I think it's just a little bit too much for me, to be quite honest.
Okay. Can't please Ian on this one, but that's
Not at all.
fine. Steve, your make of this one.
Yeah, well, so Ian's got a point. Is it far too busy? Yes, absolutely. If it came into Heathrow or whatever, would you be there with your camera getting exceedingly excited to see it? Absolutely. It's it kind of looks like one of those exotic snakes you see like on these wildlife programs with the pattern on it. But it's unique. It radiates South Africa, but as Ian says, there's probably a little bit too much going on with it.
Interesting. All right, Sam, over to you.
I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Reason being is because, well, it's my favorite aircraft type, the Boeing 747, and also, even though it's not very modern, South African Airways are known to have lots of colours on their liveries, so this is a bit of a African Airways thing. So I'll give them credit for that. And also, even though it's not modern, I think kids would like it. I mean, if you were aboard the aircraft and you saw it from a window, I think it would excite a lot of kids. And if I was a plane spotter and I had the chance to go down to London Heathrow or any other airport in the UK that I was able to go to and make a YouTube video of this aircraft, I definitely will. So I'll give it a 7.5. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, 7.5 out of 10. Right, so okay, let's sort of just take some time to have a think about some scores as we go through what some people have said. Transatlantic Allison saying she likes the design, but not on an aircraft. Vision saying Le Cry, another ruined 747. I thought this would get a lot of love. I'm going to be honest. I thought it would get a lot of love. Darren Smith saying, hooray, been on that plane. And guess what? It's not in those colours inside, just a normal cabin.
Oh, nice.
Would have been quite cool.
Yeah,
actually.
that's a bonus.
Would have been quite cool.
Yeah, if it was inside the aircraft, I mean, I'd be less impressed.
Jim Gemmell saying, should be called the Goddamn Awful. Rob Brown, I've pinned his comment because I think it's probably one of the best ones of the evening. That's what you get when you give kids crayons and colouring in pictures when you go for tea at Brewers Fair. Can't slag off Brewers Fair though; it's a good place. I quite
Decent
like
crayons as well.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right, let's go into some ratings. Get your ratings in. We'll show them at the end. Let's go. Sam, you said 7.5. Are you sticking with that?
Need it to 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. My bad. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Right, 8 out of 10 for that. Steve.
Yeah, just in summary, I'd be delighted to catch a photo of this, but I'm not massively into it. So like 6.5.
Okay, 6.5 out of 10. I will go for probably an 8 as well. I love this. I really love this, and I've been after a model of it for a long time. So it's on my list of models to get. So 8 out of 10 for me. Ian.
I'll give it a 6. I think it's got too much going on, but again, as the more I look at it, it's not that offending, to be quite honest. So I'm only going to give it a 6, though. I'm glad they left the engines alone. Something normal to look at.
Wonderful.
And Tian's starting a fan page for this plane, so
I've just seen that.
Yeah, lovely.
If you want to join your Instagram page for it.
Yeah.
Roughly means we give it a 7 out of 10, which I think is probably fair. Let's see what other people have put. Rob Brown Plane Spotting has put 3 out of 10. Welshie Kev has put 4 out of 10. Vision's giving it a 2. Alison giving it a 3. Sarah Potts giving it a 2. Jim Gemmell giving it a 5. Darren Smith giving it a 10 because he's been on it, but as a livery, 2.5. Liam Grant giving it a 7.
Yeah. He's giving it a 7 to 1. I'll have a 5er on that.
Yeah. So some pretty good, some pretty good. Bear with me. There we go. Just bear with me. Just dealing with some stuff. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next one. I'll just get rid of that screen there. Right, one of the trilogies, but only featuring 2 of these. Ian will probably be a big fan of this, although it's not the one he's probably thinking of. It is, of course, the 80 Years of Aviation, 757, of course, of Icelandair. So, Ian, I believe you had some interesting info on this one. I believe this was hand painted.
It was hand painted, yeah. It was decided through, from what I've read and what I believe, it was decided through a competition what to stick on the side of the 80 years old, 80 years anniversary Icelandair, and this was like a snow escape of Iceland was the winning sort of entry. Not necessarily that design, but that was the theme they wanted to go for. So they actually had this specific aircraft hand painted to that design, and it's absolutely stunning. It really is. It's just an absolute class looking livery, and there's no one can say anything else about it. I'd argue with everyone about the design outside of that plane. It's absolutely beautiful. It really is.
It gets top marks for me because it's on
Absolutely.
757.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic livery. It's a really nice plane, and the fact it's hand painted and it's just a form of artwork, and it's
absolutely
spot on. Like I absolutely adore this livery, so I know immediately what I'm giving it.
Yeah.
But you're obviously a massive fan of this, Ian.
Oh God, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, I think between that and the Aurora one are probably the two my 2 favourite planes out there. To be quite honest, 2 favourite liveries of any livery you've shown. To be quite honest, particularly this one.
Good shot.
Just the artwork, what's gone into it, and the work, and the workmanship, what's gone into creating that, and to make it look as nice as it does, is absolutely outstanding. Good
stuff. Steve, over to you.
Yeah, well, it's cool looking in both senses of the word, isn't it? It epitomises Iceland, and the artwork, but it's been done by hand, is absolutely stunning, and it still retains the identity of the airline as well. It's exceedingly well done. The tail sort of almost blends into it, and it's not just sitting out there as a feature on its own, as we've seen on other aircrafts. And it's just like the shade of blue used as well is absolutely incredible. Like, yeah, you can't fault it, can you?
No.
It is really nice. Sam, over to you.
I love this livery, and reason being is because, well, it's got a picture of I'm getting that will be Iceland. It definitely represents Iceland very, very well, and as it's in celebration of 8 decades, this is definitely to celebrate it. And I like how they've kept the Icelandair logo on the tail and the engine's orange, so that way you can recognize that it is an Icelandair. Because if they painted those in the same as uh, the airframe of the aircraft, then it probably wouldn't be as recognizable. You probably wouldn't recognize that it's an Icelandair aircraft. And the fact that it was hand painted shows how much talent the spray painters at Icelandair have got. So I like this livery, and it would be really cool to see it someday.
No doubt it'll be on its way out at some point, given the fact that they've introduced the new livery recently. But yeah, really, really nice indeed. All right, 30 seconds. 30 seconds to think of a rating for this one. I imagine this is probably going to be the highest rated one of the night so far. But let's have a look and see what some people have put about this one. Welshie Kev says, now we get to the good ones. Probably about time. After trying to impress a tough crowd. Liam Grant says Icelandair kept it cool, beautiful. Darren Smith says TFFIJ was hand painted as well, which I believe is that the Aurora Borealis one.
Quite possibly. I didn't know that, to be quite honest. I didn't think that were hand painted. I thought it was just this one, to be quite honest.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Transatlantic Allison says it's nice, but fear when it's dirty, it's going to look really dirty. Possibly. Yeah.
It'll clean.
Yeah.
Darren Smith is a fan of this because it's a Boeing 757 with winglets plus the livery equals yes. I'd have to say the same thing, I think. Really nice. Really, really nice. Jim Gemmell says it's stunning. And the 350 from Los Angeles says nice livery. So very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. Right, let's go through some of the ratings that we were going to give it. I will go straight in with a 10 because I love it. Love it that much, and it's just so detailed, and you'll be hard done by to find a 757 anywhere past or present that is looking as good as this one. So for me, 10 out of 10. Ian,
10 out of 10 for me as well.
Beautiful.
Definitely, it's an absolutely stunning aircraft. It's it goes to show what you can actually do when you look at the Pikachu aircraft and you look at the Panda aircraft, and then you look at that aircraft, and that one just says everything, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Absolutely.
Well, the Pikachu one does say pretty much everything as well, both about Japan and Japan.
Yeah, it still looks like a pile of sick though, doesn't it, compared to Icelandair?
That statement is what's the pile of sick right there.
Lovely. Right, Steve, over to you. You're going to make it a hat trick of 10s, or are you varying in opinion?
Yep, no, we'll give that a 10. That's why mums go to Iceland, that's for sure.
Solid. Love it. And Sam, are you going to make it a quadruple of 10s, or do you have a difference of opinion?
I make a quadruple of 10s.
Hooray!
Full house.
Full house, which means
bingo.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out what we give it. 10 out of 10.
Hey.
Yeah.
And also what that means, because we give it out 10 out of 10, and normally I should have a video for this, but I've got this one instead.
Great success!
Excellent.
Oh, that's cringeworthy.
I know, right? That's why we love it. Right, 10 out of 10 for this livery. Let's see what other people have put. Jack Rolls puts 10 out of 10. Welshie Kev, 9 out of 10. The 350 guy from Los Angeles, 8 out of 10. Jim Gemmell, 10. Allison's put 9 out of 10. Michael Painter, 10. Lots of people loving it. Martin Waldridge says Fox's Glacier Mint in a good way, 9 out of 10. Rob Brown plays spot in 8 out of 10. An interesting comment, which I think we should probably chat about just very quickly. Alison says, my only complaint is I wish the tail blended a little more.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
where
you
she's
can't
coming
please
from on
everyone.
that a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's not. It
Okay.
doesn't
She's
stick
right,
out
but I
quite
mean,
as.
this one.
I was just say it doesn't stick out quite as badly as it does on other aircraft that we've seen the tail. But yeah, say a little bit of fading in would really have made it look amazing.
I think so. But it's beautiful as it is. So
Yeah.
we will go with that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you could say the same about the orange engines. When you're looking at the plane, there's a big bloody orange engine sat in front of you, but it doesn't take your eye off the fuselage, does it, at all?
No, it's
No.
lovely.
No?
Really, really nice. Even against the grey sky, it still looks really nice. But yes, let's move on from this one. Just remind myself what this one is. Right, okay. Another little quirky one for you. This time from Austrian Airlines.
Oh,
And this was to do with, I want to say this was to do with Euro 2008, the European Championships. And this was held in Switzerland and Australia. And this was the McDonald's player escort scheme. Although you have to be careful how you say that. But mascots, essentially.
Yeah, just rinse it
Sort of
out.
encouraging, kids to kind of fulfill mascot dreams sort of things. Don't know what to make of this one, so I'm going to leave myself to the end here. But Steve, we'll go with you first.
I'm going to have to get the easy pun in. I'm loving it.
Oh.
Right, that's that done.
Someone had to, didn't they?
Yeah, thank you very much.
oh, that was good.
Thing is, it unfortunately in this day and age, is an aircraft with children's faces on it kind of responsibly acceptable, and probably unfortunately it isn't. So I think that's a bit of a difficulty on it these days. That probably times are changing such that you probably can't have children's faces on aircraft like you used to be able to.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I get the motive behind the whole thing, but it's whether you enjoy it as a plane or not, really. Ian, over to you.
I don't like it. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I don't think I agree with it, to be quite honest. I don't agree with a fast food restaurant sponsoring whatever they're meant to be sponsoring. I think it just contradicts everything. I don't know. I'm just not a fan at all. I don't agree with what Steve was saying about having kids' faces on side and having a big McDonald's logo at the side of it. I just don't think it's responsible marketing, I would call it. No, I don't like it. No, that's not for me at all, I'm afraid.
All right.
The tail's fine.
Yes. Right. Sam, over to you. What do you think of this?
I do not like it. I despise this livery so much. I don't like the fact that, so many kids making weird faces. I'm surprised that I'm surprised they even agreed to have their faces on this livery, because I'd be embarrassed if that was me. And the fact that there's the logo next to it just doesn't make sense. I mean, unless they are supposed to be mascots. And, at least they, I think, this is Austrian Airlines, right?
Austrian Airlines.
Am I mistaken? At least they've kept the tail, so I'll give them that. But no, I despise this livery, and I'll get to my next part of the opinion in a bit. I want to read the comments because it's related to one of the comments.
No, that's all right. I don't like. I'm not a huge lover of this the livery. I know, like I said, I understand. Like, I understand why they've done it, but I'm not the biggest fan of this one. So, 30 seconds for you guys to come up with your ratings. And we'll have a look at what the comments are saying. Tian Hartley thinks it's awesome. Alison thinks McDonald's Airways.
Oh.
And
yet she says that she has to teach me.
Ryan Bomar says, not to sound like Simon Cowell, but absolutely hideous.
Can I pause you right there, Tom? Because I'm going to say this is actually the comment I was talking about. I mean, if anything, I think I've been acting like Simon Cowell throughout this whole podcast. I mean, what I've said about the A340 and having the opposite opinion of pretty much everyone else on the 747 one. So, in the words of Simon Cowell, press the buzzer. Now.
Love it. Very good. All right. So let's do some ratings. I'll go first. I'll give it probably a 2, I think, and 2 is probably generous, but 2 for the incentive behind it, but not for the livery. Ian.
I'll probably just give it 1, and that's because of the hash browns. I'm a big fan of them. That's it.
Oh, goodness me.
Yeah.
All right. So 1 from Ian. Steve.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all. No.
Yeah, clear the kids off it and stick Ronald McDonald on the tail, and you'd have a much better aircraft. But
no, you're wrong, Steve. If anything, it would be even worse.
No, it'd be amazing. I'd get on a plane with old Ronald McDonald. Anyway, I'm going to give it a 1 because I can't score it for 0.
No problem at all. Who have we missed so far? Is it Sam?
Yeah, me.
All right.
I was initially going to give it a 1 out of 10. However, given what Steve just said about replacing the kids with Ronald McDonald and making it worse, I'm going to give it a 0 out of 10.
No, that's really harsh.
All right. So I think...
Well, Steve's fault. So if you got gone with that, blame Steve.
So probably the lowest of the night. I think on average, roughly, you'd probably maybe give it a 1 out of 10.
I mean, it's more an advert for McDonald's than representing anything they're trying to represent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, that just puts you off, so that's a backfire.
Yeah, 1 out of 10 would probably be, I think, probably fair. Let's see what other people have put. Sarah Pass has given it a 0 out of 10. Jim's
hey,
given
she's
it a
learning.
3. Yeah. So yeah, Sarah's given it a 0. Jim's given it a 3. Alison's even given it a 0 as well. Welshie Kev 0. Ryan Bomar, I think that's a 2 he's given there. Jack Rolls a 1. And yeah, so on and so forth. Lots of people not liking this at all. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, get rid of that.
All right, next one on a special request, or not special request, but just a little nod that I wanted to give this one. Another one from All Nippon Airways. And just out of curiosity, I'm just going to ask the panel here. Does anyone know what this is representing without looking it up?
Is it anime?
No, I was actually just going to zoom in.
I can zoom in. It is anime, but do you know which anime?
Not a clue.
I'm not familiar with any. Oh, no.
Pokemon.
Oh, crap. No, definitely not Pokemon. At least I don't think
it's 100% not Pokemon.
Thought so.
It is an anime called Dream Slayer. So this is more of a very recent one. It's a very popular anime program or an anime show that they want to sort of show on their 767 and promote Dream Slayer. As a livery, we'll go Steve this time.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, the whole subject properly goes over the top of my head. I have no idea about that particular sort of series, and that it obviously represents Japan nicely. I know it's big out in those parts, but to rate it purely on the livery, it kind of looks very kind of busy and a bit kind of crazy in that. And the actual ANA livery on its own is really nice. I'm a big fan of it. So it's not enhancing their aircraft for me in the slightest.
Okay, Ian.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm gonna admit it, but the way they've actually put the livery onto the side of the aircraft and kept the they've sort of put it over the top of the ANA livery. I don't think it makes it look vile, if you want. It's doing what it's meant to do, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of cartoon characters. I've no idea what anime is and all the rest of it. But it's obviously, like I say, it's big in Japan. But I think as far as cartoony type characters on the side of an aircraft offend me, I don't think that's quite as bad. It's quite subtle, if you will. I think it is anyway. I think it's quite subtle in grand scheme of things. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
I've also just been corrected. It's not Dream Slayer. It's Demon Slayer. So even I got it wrong. You can tell I'm not a fan of it. But yes, it is. It's it's Demon Slayer, not Dream Slayer. So I've just had a message.
Who watches that kind of stuff?
Eh?
Who watches that?
Well,
the people who don't have anything better to do.
Alison's daughter is mad for it, so
Oh,
people do
There
watch
you
it.
go.
Yeah, people do watch it. Yeah.
Ouch.
And people are watching me also, completely destroy what it's actually called. So even I got it wrong. So there you go. But all right, Sam, over to you.
Before you got corrected, I was going to say, if it was Dream Slayer, the only dream that they'd be slaying is the dream of a decent livery. It's not Dream Slayer.
Oh, very good. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like how they've kept the most of the ANA logo and just added those ridiculous-looking cartoons. So, I mean, it's not the worst, but it's also not. And the people who did put the listeners are the real demons.
All right, fair enough. Right, 30 seconds to go over what you think of this one as we go through and see what people think in the chat. Alison has put it's lazy livery. Looks like they've just popped a sticker on it.
Yeah.
Liam Grant saying just standard livery, not exciting, not terrible. And Alison again saying it's really popular apparently, and it is. It's very popular with a lot of people that are into anime. Rob Brown Plane Spotting says, kudos for blending the tail livery isn't overly offensive.
Well,
I think we can probably, I can maybe agree with that one. So, let's go for some ratings. And let's start with Sam. We'll go bottom to the top this time. Sam, out of 10, what do you think?
I'm going to give it 5 out.
A 5 out of 10. Steve.
Yeah, I like it from the rear door backwards, and I am going to give it a 5 as well.
5 as well. Ian.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5 as well. They've obviously ticked all the boxes for the corporate customer without taking away the identity of the ANA plane.
Spot on.
Yep.
I'll probably go 5 as well, which means, again, rocket scientist not needed. 5 out of 10 for that one. Let's have a look and see what people have put. I think this will probably vary on what people think of the show, or if they've heard of it, or if they watch it. Vision's giving it a 4 out of 10. Rob Brown Plane Spotting giving it 2. Michael Painter giving it 5. Transatlantic Allison with a 5. Jim Gemmell with a 1. Jack Rolls with a 4. Sarah Pass with a 3. Qantas Dude, that's not his name. I can't read it out. I can. It's just far too long. So I'm just going to go Qantas Dude. 10 out of 10. Tian Hartley, 7 out of 10. Welshie Kev, 4 out of 10. Martin Waldridge says 2 points, 1 point for each side of the tail. So it's 2 out of 10 on that one. All right, on to the next one. We had it mentioned earlier.
Oh, Ian, you're not going to like this.
Yeah, another one that Ian might not like. However, might be a little bit different. It is, of course, Hainan Airlines with their 787-9 Dreamliner representing Kung Fu Panda, the movie. which I believe this livery now no longer exists, and the plane is actually still in all red, but the livery is not on it anymore. So, as Welshie Kev has so kindly put, let's hear what the panda phobe has to say about this one. Ian, over to you.
Well, having a teenage daughter now and having grown up with countless animated films ranging from Tangled to Toy Story and everything in between, Kung Fu Panda was absolutely awful. Yeah. So, and I've seen a Hainan Dreamliner in Manchester Airport a few years ago, and it was an absolute stunning looking plane. It really, really was. So why on earth they got cajoled into advertising probably one of the worst animated films ever to be created is beyond me. Someone's had their arm twisted right up the back. So take the pandas off, strip that red paint, get it back to how it was, and it'll get a thumbs up. But as it is now, it's not for me. Thank you. I don't know against pandas. I like pandas. Cute.
You clearly don't. Okay.
It's one of those, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
No, it's fine. Steve, over to you.
Oh yeah, well, little known fact, my favourite Chinese down the road is called Panda, so looking at this has made me a little bit hungry. The plain red with the pandas works better than the 350 we saw earlier on, I would say, and this is a lot less cluttered, a lot less busy, and I prefer it over the 350. It's again, it's quite kind of eye-catching and unique, and someone said earlier on that the Dreamliners don't particularly wear special liveries very well. I don't know if I entirely agree with that. I think this one doesn't do too bad a job of it, to be quite honest.
Oh, not that one. My bad. This one.
I just read
Visions.
that.
What was that it just said? Hold on. I really want to see what that just said. Damn it, I can't find it.
No, very good. Very good indeed. Well done on that one for Visions. I think that gets a pin as well. I think that's quite a good one. Yeah. I mean, I like it for the fact that it's quite bold with the red. And I think the thing is, because the livery's now gone, because there's no need for them to advertise the film anymore, it's quite cool. I believe the plane is still red. I may be wrong. They may have painted it up again or something like that, but it's supposed to be all in red. I quite like it because, like I say, it's very rare that you find, especially if it's not a normal livery, but the plane to be completely one color, especially a Dreamliner as well. I think it's quite nice. I think I do like it. So yeah, I do quite like it. But 30 seconds for you guys to have a think about the rating that you're going to give it, whilst we go through and see what people think. Rob Brown Plane Spotting says, if Carlsberg did liveries, they wouldn't do this one. He's actually changed his name. The Qantas 787 dude. He actually changed it to that. It says the Royal Mail livery, for those that remember sort of 737s and like the old Vickers Viscount being in Royal Mail livery for doing the post run. Rob Brown then says, Dreamliners don't do special liveries. For everything else, there is MasterCard. For those that know that advert, it's quite funny. It's quite funny, that one. Welshie Kev says, I kind of think that all planes with cartoon liveries should not be allowed to leave their country. Just do internal flights and let the locals enjoy them. Brilliant. Alison's saying, lots of red on Chinese aircraft. It's a lucky colour, of course.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
They've got it mostly on. It's mostly red on their flag, so makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so very good indeed. Right, let's jump into the ratings. So, Sam, you first with your rating.
I do not like it. I really don't. And I don't think the pandas definitely don't blend in with the red background, it's just looks awful. And although I do like lines have got mostly red with the yellow bit on their tail because that's their flag, and they have a bit of a yellow on the flag along with the red background. So I'll give Hainan credit for that. However, if you remove the pandas, then it would be a lot better and represent the country more. Other than that, I just don't like it, and it makes Kung Fu Panda look worse than it already.
Good shout, Sam.
Yeah, good shout. So what was?
I used to like it, but looking back on it, it's just not as good. But I mean, here, there's even worse films out there.
What was the rating you gave it? Sorry.
Did I even give it a rate? I don't even think I did. But if I were,
I don't know if you did.
I can't even remember. But if I were, wait, should I say it or wait?
No, you can say it. You can say it.
I'm gonna give it. I'm kind of debating if I should go 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10 to go in the middle.
5.5 out of 10. Lovely job, Steve. You what do you give it?
Yeah, see, I'm not too offended by it. I've never watched Kung Fu Panda, so to me, it's just some fluffy bears on a red plane. But I don't mind it. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7.5 out of 10. Lovely, Ian.
Do not watch it.
I'm only going to give it a 4, unfortunately, for Hainan Airlines. I'm a fan of deliveries. I do like the planes. I think if you take the pandas off the plane and just leave it as a plain red plane, I think it'll look nice. But, that's not what we're here to judge. So, yeah, it's a 4 for me.
4 out of 10. I'll give it a solid 6 on that one, which means a 5.5 out of 10, I think, is probably the best way of doing that, I believe. Right, let's have a look and see what other people have put. Visions have got they put 4. Michael Painter, 6.5 out of 10, just because it's fun. Welsh Kev, 3 out of 10. Jack Rolls, 5.5 out of 10. Sarah Pass, 4 out of 10. Alison, 3 out of 10. Rob Brown, Planes Point, 3 out of 10. And the 350 dude, 10 out of 10. Liking that one. Wonderful stuff. Let's go on to, we'll do a few more, and then we'll save some more for maybe another time. But let's go on to the next one. Right, Hometown Airlines of course, Matt Cochran, who was on last week. This is Delta's special livery for breast cancer awareness. There's 2 versions. I believe I do have some other pictures of the other ones, but we'll probably save those for another show. But we're going to stick with this one for now. Adorns a 767-400. Obviously for a very worthy, noble cause. Steve, go with you first on this one. What do you think of this one?
For what it is, for what it represents, it doesn't matter whether people like it or not. The cause is too noble to judge it sort of poorly, even if you didn't like it, because I think the sentiment is worth more than the livery on this one.
Good. Yeah, very, very noble of you to say. That's fair enough. Ian, over to you for this one.
I totally agree with Steve on that one, to be quite honest. I think I'm not going to criticise it, but I think the pink ribbon over the fuselage could have been a bit smaller, perhaps, and that's pretty much as far as I go with it. But like Steve says, it's too much of a good cause to criticise it in any way.
Going to get through this one quite quickly by the sounds of it. Sam, over to you.
I agree with both Steve and Ian. However, I fail to see how the pink ribbon actually represents it. I mean, I don't really understand that part, but hey, as long as it's sent in a good cause, then I've got nothing bad to say about it.
Fair play. I think it's one of those ones where it's just going to sort of be. I think the cause is probably going to be like more over. Like you said, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters that much really in terms of what it looks like. The cause is obviously a really good one, so you need to kind of just almost forget how it even looks, and just applaud them for actually getting the awareness out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Yeah.
Right, let's see, 30 seconds for you guys to have a think as we go through here and see what other people have put. Michael Painter has put stylishly done. Tian Hartley, sitting across the room from Ian, says boring.
Tian, really? Cut me off, Tom.
Alison has put top marks for the cause alone. No, Ian's gone. He'll be
Oh,
back.
no. No.
He will be back. He will be back.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Jack Rolls put, it's a lovely looking livery and a decent aircraft 767. I would because it's a luxurious livery. Take loads of pictures. Fair play. Let's have a look here. Liam Grant says respect to this one. Oh, here he is.
Oh, dear.
All good, Ian?
Yep.
All good. Jim Gemmell saying cause outweighs the livery. Welshie Kev says the pink ribbon is the symbol for BCRF. Yeah, that should be fine. Right, cool. So ratings for this one. Let's go Steve first.
Well, it's 10 because of the cause. To be quite honest, I'm not going to.
I think I can sort of see where this is going, but we'll do it anyway. Ian.
Yeah, I'll agree with Steve on that one because of the cause. You can't criticise an airline for doing something like that in any way.
Perfect. Sam.
Do I really need to say?
Nope. So we've given it. We've given it obviously a 10 out of 10 just purely for the cause alone. The people obviously giving it the top marks as well. Jim Gemmell giving it the 10. Welshie Kev 10. I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right. We have got. I'll tell you what. We've got 3 more because I want to add one in because I know we got some fans of a particular one with us in the show. So we'll do next one. Now, one of the sort of mass amounts of A320s that Brussels Airlines have in their fleet painted up. This is, of course, Tomorrowland, which is a music festival. And the livery itself is absolutely astonishing. And it's one of those ones where if Brussels Airlines flies to your airport and it's available to look at on Flight Radar, you have a look to see which one's coming in, and you hope that it's one of the special liveries. Not been lucky enough to catch this one yet. I've only caught the Belgian Icons one. I know Steve's caught a few of them as well. So we're going to go for Steve first. Have you seen this one?
I've seen Red Devils, which is incredibly impressive on a sunny day, really nice. And I've also seen the Tintin livery, which was not as good as the Red Devils. But yeah, give Brussels their due. They do a special livery very well. This is quite interesting, isn't it, with the sort of bird of prey. I assume it's an eagle, something of that ilk on there. And it's pretty awesome. And the way the wings are, they actually sort of appear where the wing is in reality is where the bird's wing is, which is sort of great planning on the design in front. It looks decent, and you've got the sort of fireworks going on sort of behind it, and that I assume that's what it is. And yeah, it's very vibrant. It's very unique, and it's very sort of outstandingly well done. And it's another sort of good effort by Brussels.
Good shout, Ian.
I like it, to be quite honest. Yeah, I think it's just it's a very, very busy looking aircraft. There's a lot going on, but I just think that they've kept their identity there with the Brussels, with the tail, but they've nicely blended everything together, and they've got the image of the eagle or griffin or whatever it's meant to be on the side of it, and there's a lot going on there, but it's not too much that it's offending you, sort of thing. So yeah, I quite like it. Yeah, I think it's quite smart.
Excellent stuff. Sam, over to you.
I did not like this livery at all. It looks like they've just taken a bunch of spray cans and just done that all over the aircraft. It just doesn't look good.
All right, fair enough. I quite like it. I think it's busy done right, and Vision saying Ian's just happy it's not a panda. You see what you've started? Do you see what you've started now? But yes, yeah, I do like it. It's one of those ones that if I'm at Heathrow or sort of anywhere that Brussels operate to, I'm always trying to keep an eye out for the special liveries, and tend to not so much bother, but kind of get a little bit disappointed when it's not special livery. So, and this is one of them. It's absolutely it's striking. I think the colours, like the fade of the dark blue into the reddy orange, into that sort of lighter blue at the front of the plane. Really, really nice. And I think on a sunny day like you got on the picture, it just brings it out that little bit more. So, like hats off to Brussels for doing such a fantastic job in representing, representing a music festival, really, really well, really, really well.
What's the reg on that one there, Tom?
That is, I believe that's Oscar Sierra November Foxtrot, I think. I'll zoom in for you, just for those that want to see it. Or zoom in even more, rather. So there you go. Right, 30 seconds for you guys to think of your rating, and then we'll crack on with a couple more. Jack Rolls says, Brussels know exactly how to make a livery. I absolutely love this and want to catch it when I go with Steve.
Yeah, it's currently flying Malaga back to Brussels, for those who are interested.
Might go into... No, it won't, will it? No,
there you go, Jack. It's off to Malaga.
Yeah. Welshie Kev says, love the tail design. Farang Travels says, don't like it, too much going on.
Well said.
Alison says, I like it but hate it at the same time. But then she also says it's so much better than the BA Golden plane. I believe that was the one for the Olympics, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was the Dove, weren't there? And there was the other one, the gold with the gold at the front. I love that plane, me.
Did we see that? We saw that, didn't we, you and I?
We saw the Dove, didn't we?
The Dove, we did, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see the other one. I've got the other one, delivery on 319 Neo on the flight sim.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I love that one.
Lovely. Right, let's do some ratings. Sam, we're going to go with you. Ratings for this plane.
I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. The reason being is I appreciate the effort that they've put in, even though I'm not a big fan of a special livery, but I like how they've kept the Brussels Airlines tail, and well, they've not complete effort, and I just don't really like the livery, so I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Oh, that's harsh.
Very harsh, but there you go. That's why we do these. That's why we do these episodes. Yeah,
and you're harsh to the pandas. We're even.
Did deserve it.
Steve, sorry, no. Who are we after? Ian. That's it. Ian, over to you.
I'm going to give it. I'm going to go right up there and give it an 8. I agree with what Alison's saying, that she loves it and hates it at the same time. I think you want to hate it because there's so much going on, but you can't quite hate it. And I think it's such a nice. It's lovely. It really, really is. So I'm going to give it an 8.
An 8 out of 10. Steve.
Yeah, like you've all said, it is busy, but it's busy done right. On that basis, I will drop a 7.5 for it.
7.5. I'll drop it an 8. It's nice. I like it. I don't quite think it's worth a 10. But I think 8 is pretty decent.
It is
So
great.
on that basis, with Sam's 4 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, which I think is still pretty good. Let's see what other people have put. Darren Smith has put 9. Visions have put 9. Tian Hartley's put 9. Farang Travels 5 out of 10. Obviously going the same way as what Sam thinks. Sarah with a 9. Jim with a 9. Rob Brown Plane Spot and also going the same way. 5 out of 10 on that one. Michael Painter with a 10. Jack Rolls with a 10. Alison with a 7. Welshie Kev with a 4. And the Qantas 787 Dude with a 7 out of 10. Right, wicked. Let's quickly go through the next couple. Up next, everybody's favourite. Picture quality is shocking. Don't know why I chose this one. It is, of course, Wanala Dreaming from Qantas. We spoke about this one many moons ago on the World Tales episode that we did way back. I think it was episode 10. Of course, I want to say this came first, and then obviously British Airways paid homage to Qantas and Australia by copying the design onto their own planes. What do we think of this one? It's obviously very Aborigine. It's got an Aboriginal sort of look to it. I'm a huge fan of this. Huge fan. Ian, let's have a go with you first.
I'm not sure. I think I tell you what I don't like about it. It's the actual red 747. I don't know whether if they would have left the 747 white, obviously with a red tail, and then put the design on a white plane, whether that would have worked better or not. But I think because it's on a red 747, I just don't think it. I don't know. It just looks a bit messed up. It looks a bit messy for me. I'm not totally offended by it, but I think it could have been done better.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sam, go to you next.
Well, what exactly is it supposed to represent? Is it supposed to have a bulls like Australian animals on it or something Australian?
It's Australian Aboriginal art.
Okay, well, as it's an Australian airline, rippling to do with Australia, I'll give that. And well, as they've made the special livery on what I would argue is the best aircraft type in the world, I like it. And I do agree with what was it? I think it was Ian. Yeah, it was Ian that said it. If it was the white background, like basically just the normal Qantas livery with the animals on it, then I think it would be better. But I'm not going to argue. I mean, I like it.
Excellent. And I believe Steve.
Yeah, whilst it sort of does the kind of Australian history proud, the red for me should have been a more kind of sandy sunset kind of orange. That's more what I associate Australia with than the colour red, to be quite honest. It's very busy. I'll say that for it. Particularly sort of cockpit and very sort of busy looking. It captures what we're doing well, but there's just a lot going on with a lot of kind of contrasting colours on it.
Interesting. Okay, the ratings is going to be very interesting for this one. So let's have 30 seconds to think about it while we go through some of what people are saying. Rob Brown says kangaroo dung. So not a fan of that. Welshie Kev has put nope because of the fact they've done the engine cowlings as well. So not a fan of that. John Fisher is just saying hi. So hello to you. Farang Travels put the horror. I thought this
Oh,
might
it's not
get a
that
lot lower.
bad.
Apparently not. Visions saying great in an art gallery, but not on a 747. Alison's comment gets a pin because she says, "Oh, good God, no! That's what happens after the curry, Steve."
Indeed.
John Fisher again popping in. He says it would have looked much better on white.
Yeah.
Like if you
Agreed.
kept the standard Qantas livery, what would you think?
Well, the only thing you could say for white is everything on it would have stood out a lot more than it does currently. It's a bit sort of messy.
Yeah,
Maybe
the red. I mean, it's red. It's not totally red, is it? It's sort of bits of orange in it as well, isn't there? Do you not think that's meant to sort of represent is it Uluru they call it now? What used to be Ayers Rock? Because that's sort of got a red vibe to it, hasn't it?
Could be. Yeah. Could be. Jack Rolls says, elegant, authentic, beautiful. What else can I say? Looks stunning on the 747. Do you think some of the other liveries we have had, and this is one very smart and dandy livery? Dandy.
I thought he was describing me to begin with, but never mind.
Yeah. Fair play. Tian Hartley says, it's cool but quite discreet.
Yeah.
Michael Painter says, just looking at it, you can see it's Australia all the way. I'm glad they kept the tail original, otherwise it would look messy. Wonderful. Right, let's do the ratings and then we'll get on to the last one. Right, we'll go with Ian first.
I'm going to give it a 7. I mean, it does what it's meant to do. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the actual fuselage being red, and the engines don't bother me at all. But the fact that it's representing what it represents with the Aboriginal artwork and things like that, I don't really mind it at all. So, yeah, I'll give it a 7.
Cool. Nice one. So 7 out of 10. Steve?
Yeah, it does what it says on the tin, but it's a bit kind of minestrone soup for me. There's a lot going on with a red background, so I will give it a 6.
6 out of 10. All right. Sam, over to you.
I'm going an 8 out of 10. The reason being is because the only 2 things I would do differently is the engine cowling should have just been left white, so that's 1 point taken away, and they should have also left the main fuselage white instead of a few different shades of red, so a 2nd point taken away. So therefore it's 8 from me.
So I want to say that it makes it a very solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's see what other people have put here. So Vision's giving it a 3.
Oof, harsh.
That's quite harsh. Yeah, harsh crowd tonight. Probably one of the harshest ones we've had so far.
Yeah.
That's what we like with these debates.
You haven't helped.
Neither of you, and neither of Ian with his hate for pandas.
I love pandas.
Oh, really? Then why are you even hating on them?
I'm not hating on the pandas. I'm hating on the airlines who choose to use pandas as a marketing gimmick.
Bye. Darren.
Yeah, you can make all the excuses you want.
Darren Smith gives it a 7 out of 10. Sarah Pass with a 3 out of 10. Jim Gemmell giving it a low 3 out of 10. Michael Painter giving it a 9. John Fisher with a 5. Rob Brown Planespoint with a 5. Jack Rolls giving it a 10. Alison's giving it a 3 out of 10. Welshie Kev giving it a 3 out of 10 as well. So, last one for the evening, and specially picked because I know there's a couple of people here, notably Sam and Ian, who are big fans of the particular airline that's coming up onto the screen now. Of course, you'd have to include it, wouldn't you?
Nice.
Of course you would. Especially because Sam is a huge fan of it. It would be rude not to finish on this one, so we're going to do Cargolux with their Not Without My Mask livery. Of course, we know the reasons why.
1 second, Tom.
Do a quick.
Just going to say cheerio, Michael. Yeah.
Michael Painter says, "Got to go, guys. Thanks so much for some interesting discussions. Got to be up at 3:15 for work. Good night. Oh, thank you very much for watching,
Yeah,
Michael.
take care, mate.
Much appreciated. Thank you." So, I think it's fairly obvious what this obviously represents, but we're going to go with the biggest Cargolux fan that we know, and that is Sam for the thoughts of this one.
I love this. I mean, I just love it. I mean, it's a 747. I mean, it's a great airline because, well, they've got multiple special liveries, and also, I mean, the fact that I've actually had some interim people who work at Cargolux, such as an engineer, the one and only Captain Joe, and all this livery also represents, well, what was pretty bad at the time back in 2020 and a bit of 2021, but it's getting better. But so yeah, it'll be sad to see this livery go, but the Cargolux did this for a bit of fun. Is also fit very good. So, and I've seen this aircraft and the livery as well at Glasgow Prestwick Airport back in July last year. So I definitely consider myself lucky to have seen an aircraft that I have wanted to see for a bit of time. And yeah, all I can say is that I love it.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, I like this one. It's humorous. It's quite, it's quite quirky for obviously the period of time that it was there. And of course, as Rob Brown puts, it's a peach, it's right when another airline copies, aka Kalita. And of course, not just Kalita, but I think Garuda did it as well. And a couple of other airlines, I think, done it as well. So, it's a good one when other airlines kind of want to do the same thing. So, yeah, I do quite like this one. It's all good fun. Very, very much good fun. Steve.
Oh, yeah, well, to coin a phrase off a good mate of mine, it was a sign of the times. So the fact they jumped on, the fact they jumped on board of it and sort of not made light of it, that wouldn't be the right phrase. But the fact they kind of sort of managed to lift the spirits a little bit by doing something a little bit fun, a little bit quirky on their aircraft, probably brought a smile or two in an otherwise sort of disappointing time for people. So it was a nice sort of morale boost for everyone at the airline.
I'm still apologies for the bombing or whatever.
That's all right, no worries. So Steve, big fan, yes?
Yeah, no, I just think it's a nice kind of quirky reminder of what we went through.
Excellent. Yeah, very nice indeed. Right, Ian, over to you.
Yeah, I like it as well. I'm like Sam on this one. I'm a big fan of Cargolux. They just don't make a bad livery, do they, Cargolux, to be fair? And I think even people might have said, like, oh, look at them making fun by sticking a mask at front of the plane and the rest of it. It's done in a way that is quite humorous, isn't it? You know what I mean? And it's like Steve was saying, it just lifts everyone's morale a little bit, doesn't it? It just puts a bit of humour into it, doesn't it? Puts a smile on people's faces, and I think it looks dead smart. And well done,
Always makes people smile when you see 747. In fact, a bit of a fun fact for you. Oh, sorry. No. Bit of a fun fact for you. I think it was a few months ago or a few weeks ago or something that they did repaint this, but they left a bit of the nose back in the normal grey, and I think I tweeted it out, but I don't know if it's still out there. I said something about, I made a joke to Cargolux saying, you do realise the face mask is supposed to cover the nose and the mouth, because the front bit of it wasn't showing. And also, in fact, I think, this is one of those aircraft that can have its nose open up, so that's obviously what you can't do that with this aircraft.
No, it's quirky. I like it. 30 seconds to have a think for the final ratings of the evening while we go through the chat. Jack Rolls says, I may have to buy a ticket to Luxembourg for this. This is a class special on the 747-8. Not the 800-8, Jack. Get it right.
Yeah. You're a
Jim Gemmell
747
says,
fan
looks
like me,
better with the
Ian.
whole mask and not partial like it had recently with its new unpainted nose cone, as Sam just mentioned there as well.
Yeah.
Welshie Kev has put, it is very well done, and I like the way the mask is attached to the letter C.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's good, that.
Rob Brown says it gets a bonus for being a panda-free zone.
Well,
First
pandas,
chutney, and
COVID.
now it's pandas.
Yeah, it's not the same country. No offense.
Well, on the same continent.
Vision saying a bit of humour to make an important statement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have to say, well, the mask fits as well. It fits better than any mask I ever bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have had those back then.
Yeah.
But yes. Right, so let's get on to the final ratings of the evening. I'll give mine. I quite like this one. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Let's go for Sam.
10 out of 10.
I knew that. Yeah, I knew that was coming. We might as well just get it out of the way. 10 out of 10 for Sam.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we'll get the other one out of the way. Ian?
Well, I'm only going to give it a 9 out of 10 because as much as I like it, excuse me, as much as I like it, Cargolux do a lot better than that, to be fair. Some of the liveries are 10 out of 10. That isn't
Or
one.
better, just out of curiosity.
Well, the retro livery for a start.
Cutaway
livery.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, if not that's
Thank
better,
you.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Debate, I love it. Steve?
Yeah, for me, this is the best Queen that we've seen all evening, so I shall give her a 9.
Interesting. So I think a very solid 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Lovely job. And just to finish, let's have a look and see what people have said. Farang Travels gives it a 0. Darren Smith gives it a 7.5.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
It's
I think
harsh,
that
but I think
person's
I
just
know
trying
why.
to get on our nerves, if not my nerves.
All right,
Yeah, I think I know why.
Right, okay.
Alison gives it a 9 out of 10. Has the added plus. I know if she knows a few people that operate it.
Oh well.
Very nice.
Vision's giving it a 9. Let's have a look. Go down here. Rob Brown gives it 11 out of 10. Sarah Pass.
I'll give it a 12
out of 10.
10 then.
Jim Gemmell 9. Welshie Kev 8. Jack Rolls 9. John Fisher a 9. Somil Bandari, who's still here, thank you so much. He gives it a 10. And the Qantas 787 dude gives it 8 out of 10. So that is sort of the first part of the special liveries done. We're going to come back and revisit part 2 later on down the line. We still have the likes of current liveries or like liveries past and present. And of course, we will still have retro liveries to get through as well. So we've got plenty of rating shows to get through over the next few months. Cool. Right, so we are going to start to wrap the show up. We're going to do some shout-outs. But before we do, next week, we'll just bring it up onto screen. I've got so many notes here. I don't know where it is. Where is it gone? Where has it gone? There we go. Next Sunday, of course, interim moderator for the time being, Jack Rolls. I've just seen it. All right. Before we, Jack Rolls joining us, interim moderator for the time being. He is joining us for a chat next week, which should be a lot of fun. We give him a hard time sometimes, but he's a good friend, really. So, yeah, we're looking forward to having him back on the show. Ian, you've just politely put to us that we haven't really noticed any picture in the background. And do you know what? For the last nearly 2 hours, I haven't noticed it. Steve hasn't noticed it, and I don't think Sam has. Would you like to point it out?
Right, what is the picture of?
It was a tribute to our guest from over the border this evening. So
It's Nicola Sturgeon.
thank you.
Oh, come on. No. No. Why?
She's been sat there all night watching.
Why,
you.
Ian?
There's always one.
Oh, no.
Love it.
Come on. Yeah, well, I don't love Ian anymore.
No.
I hate him.
Brilliant.
I'm kidding. But yeah, please get her off your wall.
We Jimmy Cranky. There you go.
I could have made it into a mask.
Bob
yeah, she
is
was...
leaving us. He says, "Thanks, guys. That was really interesting. Rounded off my Sunday nicely. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, see you for the next one." Right. Okay. So we're going to do some shout outs. If anybody has any shout outs that's still watching, do get them into the chat. We'll show them on screen as we do ours. We'll go with Sam first, if you'd like to take it away.
Shout out to you three for allowing me back on to the Departure Lounge podcast for, I don't even know, was it the 5th time now or something like that?
You've been on quite a few times, yes.
Yeah, you have, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, for a few different reasons, not just my second personal interview throughout my time on YouTube, but also this podcast and talking about some news that has been going on in the industry back in December. And yeah, shout out to everyone in the audience who has stuck around through all of our boring conversations and all of our terrible jokes and Ian's hate on pandas and my hate for Nicola Sturgeon and pretty much, and for all of those who have been enjoying Mercy on the A340.
Yeah.
Just want to put this out. Alison says, "Thanks, guys. Great as always. Hopefully, I can catch you next week, but might be tricky as I'll be in Thailand. Big week next week. Sending lots of thoughts your way."
Absolutely, yeah. Fantastic.
Right, Steve, over to you.
First of all, thanks to everyone who watched. The new names, particularly, who joined us. Thank you for finding the channel, and hope we enjoyed it. The silent people in the background, whilst we don't see your name in the chats, we all appreciate you being there, of course. Sam, Tom, Ian, always, it's a absolute pleasure to be part of it. And I've got a few tonight. Everyone who went to the effort of wishing me a happy birthday, I appreciate that a lot. And finally, my big brother Martin for coming down for it. It was very good of you, and it was nice to see you again. So yeah, that's pretty much me this week. Thank you very much.
Fabulous, well done, and big thank you there to Jack Rolls for the super chat.
Thank you.
And
mate.
again,
Yeah, nice one. Oh,
big thank you to us guys. So thank you, Jack. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Right, Ian, over to you.
yeah, just a massive shout out to yourself, Tom, Steve, and Sam for tonight. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a good laugh tonight. And like Steve was saying, a big shout out to everyone who's been in the chat tonight, contributed. There's been another few names what I've never seen before amongst them, and thanks for bearing with us and spending the evening with us really, and getting involved and having a laugh with us. So just a big shout out to all them. And a big shout to my mate Nicola for sitting there quiet tonight. As quiet as she's been for the last 25 years.
Love it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so a big special shout out to Sam, who's disappeared, and Rob, who's also a massive fan, I believe. So, yeah, Rob Brown.
Fantastic.
No, never do that again.
Never
Please,
do that. That's why
just don't.
Brilliant. I'll just give just a couple of quick shout outs to everybody watching who stuck with us.
Oh, dear.
The continued support, as always, to Steve, Ian, for obviously, like I say, the show would be, wouldn't be the same without you two. So thank you so much, and of course Sam for joining us again this evening, and sort of providing us with. It's been really, really interesting, controversial at times, but really interesting as well. Alison is hoping for less disrespect for the 340 next week. So
I think we all are.
Should be all right.
Yeah.
Should be all right.
I'm allowed my own opinion. I have a shout out to someone, if I can quickly intervene and get it out of the way.
Go for it.
Shout out to the one who works for the software who's been making my frames been going up like 0.01 frames per second throughout this. I greatly appreciate that, and I'm totally not being sarcastic right now. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. That's pretty much ruined it all for me.
No, that's fine.
Other than that, it's been fun. I've had a blast, a lot of good laughs, joking around. It's been fun.
Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Right. So we are going to say our goodbyes. As we said, we are here 7:30 p.m. next week for another episode. Of course, like I said, we have Jack Rolls with us for a chat, which should be good fun. But for now, we're going to say our goodbyes. And we're going to go for... Who should we get first? Let's go for Ian.
So I was just having a quick Google. You can contact the WWF at support.wwf.org.uk panda adoption. So if you do actually want to adopt a panda, which I will be doing after this show tonight, after the flick I've had, you can actually go onto that website and adopt a panda. So for £3 a month, it doesn't even pay for its bamboo shoots.
Oh, it's well done.
Yeah. Apart from that, see you all next week, everybody.
You are funny.
Hopefully we won't.
You are funny. We'll see you next week.
Of course, we'll hopefully see you back next week.
We'll see you next
I'll be back.
I want to know if you've done it, actually. I want to know if you've actually done it.
I might do.
I want details
without lying.
The name of the panda, what you've called it,
I'll
know everything.
I'll tell you what, I'll do it, and when I get the certificate, I'll let me cuddly teddy bear and me pup dates or whatever they are, and then we'll know them.
Yeah, good stuff. One to look forward to, I'm sure. But for now, we'll see you. We'll see you next week.
Next week.
Right, Sam, over to you.
Well, goodbye, everyone. If you're interested, then of course my YouTube channel is my name, Samuel Taylor Ackroyd. There you'll find mainly Scotland-based aviation-related content, but there is some occasional, such as more recently, some in Sweden, and there's a few in England. And you could on my channel. You can also find my where you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and OnlyFans. I'm kidding. I'm not on OnlyFans, so don't try and look me up.
Man, that caught me off guard.
Yeah, right. Where's that coming from?
I think it did with all of us. No, I'm not an OnlyFans model or anything like that, and I never will be.
Wow. Okay. We'll leave it there. But yes, thank you, Sam. We'll see you again.
See you again.
Right, as the most in the most Steve way possible. Steve, if you'd like to say goodbye.
Yep. All right. Cheerio, my lovelies. Stay safe, stay sexy, and if you are going on the WWF website to adopt a panda, make sure you don't get Hulk Hogan coming to your house by mistake. All right, cheerio now. Have a good week, and we will see you soon.
Oh, brilliant. I love it. I do love this show. It's wonderful. Right, we'll see you next Sunday, 7:30 p.m. For episode 65. Should be a lot of fun. But for now, have a fantastic week. And don't get up to no good. And we'll see you here next week. Take care, everybody. Cheers and gone. Bye.